All right, guys, here we are on Atlantis Spaceship. It is game 1 between Jjakji and Kas, as Cat's Pajamas just said, and we're going to start taking a look at our Terran player from the team NSH.Jjakji GSL champion, well, former GSL champion. It is Jjakji. And down at the bottom left part of the map in the green, our other Terran player in this TVT, it is Empire.Kas, one of the best Terrans outside of Korea, I would say, by a long shot right now. He is really good.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few foreign Terran players that are playing pretty well right now, but not a lot have had kind of the sustained tournament results that Kas has had lately.
Yeah.
I mean, good finishes in Assembly. He's done well in other tournaments. I'm sorry, not Assembly. I was thinking of... oh, and now I'm going to look like a fool. Where he finished second place to MMA. MMA beat him. Come on, man. I just did it to myself, and I can't think of the name of the tournament. So
sorry.
I'm just going to silently fade off and let you take over.
It's okay. Well, Jjakji, of course, we've seen quite a bit of lately. He did come in for his team in a big way in the IPL Team Arena Challenge #2. Ended up closing out the first series in the finals against Prime, but just wasn't able to close things out in the second one. So NSH did lose to Prime in the finals, but Jjakji, man, he really, really helped carry NSH all the way through the lower bracket. This guy is indeed the champion of NSH. Not surprised at all to see him chosen.
Oh, sure.
Yep, and Kas actually as well won a lot of games for Empire throughout the season too.
We already have a market difference in our builds. Jjakji decided to go gas first, and Kas is actually going to bypass it completely, as he is going to opt for some sort of a 1-Rax gasless fast expand.
This is one of the fun things about watching these two guys play. I mean, we talked about it a little bit before the match. Kas is definitely one of the more safe kind of standard players, where Jjakji kind of is all over the place. He's one of those players that just knows so many different builds that you never really know what to expect out of him. He can play a very aggressive style. He can play a very macro-oriented style. He can save his SCVs and let them continue building the buildings that they are building.
That's true.
He's just all around good.
Always useful, always useful. And Jjakji, of course, with that early gas, is slapping down a factory as quick as possible. We'll see how fast he wants to add a second gas. That'll give us an indication if he's going to go some sort of cloaked Banshees or down a very heavy tech path. Kas did get a pretty good scout of his opponent. Saw that that barracks was not done in time for that gas to have been put up second. And already we have a tech lab plopping down next to the factory.
Yep, so I wonder what this is going to be. It's a possibility, I guess, that he could switch that over and make Blue Flame Hellions. He could also just be going for a Reaper as well, and going into something like, Reapers with Medivacs and a couple Hellions. We do see that from time to time. Things fairly normal on Kas' side. He's got that expansion going down, just kind of making a couple barracks, stay safe. And what is it going to be? Starport immediately here, and the Hellion starting as well. Yeah, he may actually just use, he just used the barracks to produce the tech lab for the Starport, kind of a little bit different way of ordering things. So it will be Banshees from Jjakji, and he only has one gas. This will be the not cloak variety of Banshee.
So Banshee, Hellion, Marine for now, as he is continuing with that Marine and Hellion production very, very quickly throughout this entire process. This is timed out very well. Very clean build from him, as he is going to have 100 gas almost as soon as the Starport finishes up. As we can see, I want to see how close it actually gets. 48, 49. Boom, 50 and 100 gas. That's so clean from Jjakji.
Yeah, you don't become a GSL champion by having sloppy builds.
Yeah.
He's got everything just nailed out to the second in most cases. And I wonder if Kas's only Marine force with no upgrades is going to be able to stand up to the Banshee micro of Jjakji. He's so strong with this type of thing. You can see it there, microing his Hellion, trying to take as little damage as possible, just softening up some of those Marines. Oh, taking a little bit of damage on that Hellion, but any damage he can do against those Marines is going to make his Banshee that's coming out that much stronger.
And Banshee expanded is. Now, of course, Kas has had his expansion up for quite some time, but, Jjakji really banking on the fact that he'll be able to get some good damage done with this, with his own Banshee there, equalize that economy a little bit. But Kas is sitting on equal number of workers of his opponent, but of course now he's producing them 2 at a time, and of course he is putting up a bunch of mules as well.
Yep, that's right. Kas does have a bit of a stronger economy, but now he's going to have to defend against his Banshee from Jjakji. It's coming into his base right now. Jjakji not producing another Banshee behind it, so just using this one to kind of keep Kas in his base early on. Oh, and actually the Marines moving out at what may be a fairly inopportune time, but Kas, if he follows through at this, could hit Jjakji at a point where he doesn't have a lot of units to defend as well. No. So both of these players may do damage to each other. We'll have to see how Kas reacts. He's going to start taking damage.
Yes, he is. He's just keeping his Marines in the middle of the map. He is rallying back a few units right now, but of course no stim pack done, no combat shields done, which means they will die in 2 hits and not be able to catch up to the Banshee. very quickly at all. A couple more SCVs to bite the dust. 5 kills from that Banshee so far. Kas finally starting to move these Marines in the middle of the map once again.
Yeah, I think Kas realizes that the Marines or I think Jakji rather realizes that the Marines for Kas have to be somewhere else here because he just doesn't see a whole lot defending this. So, how is he going to defend back home? Looks like for now he's going to come in, try to kill off a couple more SCVs. Interestingly enough, more or less ignoring the Marines until right now, focusing mostly on workers. He does have a tank and some Marines out, but is it going to be enough? Kas could target fire the tank if he wants to.
And he's deciding not to. The tank has already racked up 3 kills, and that's going to be enough to drive Kas away, and his economy has been hampered just a little bit. Taking a look at the units tab, Jjakji actually ahead in workers, and of course he's double producing them on his own now and has a significant lead in tech.
Yeah, Kas didn't decide to micro that little Marine push at all. Oh, and the Marine's taking so much damage from that Hellion as well.
Wow.
Jjakji just all over Empire.Kas right now. You know, I feel like that little group of Marines could have just stutter step forward, taken out the tank, and then maybe, you know, taken out a good amount of Marines. At least then it would have been, you know, more or less worth it. But just to lose those Marines without doing a lot of damage in return, plus have to worry about this Banshee at home, Kas is a bit behind right now. He's going to have to play really tight to catch up.
We'll see if he can do just that. This Banshee now sitting on 12 kills. The Marines do take 3 hits to kill now, though, so it makes that Banshee a lot less effective. Engagement in the middle of the map at the same time. Kas actually had his units running out there. He's not targeting down the tanks quite yet. Now finally starting to do some damage. It looks like he will force Jjakji back, but Jjakji, of course, now has siege mode.
Yep, and look at that, Jjakji. You know, that was a bit of a bad rally, but the result of it actually allowed those tanks to get far enough away to escape. Oh, he does lose the Banshee, though. Not paying attention to that for just a moment. There is a sieged tank back at Kas's base, or Jakji's base, so Kas is not going to do any damage here. Oh, he does pull away just in time.
Wow, all right. He does lose a couple of Marines and a few more being poked at as well by this Hellion. Of course, there are medevacs supporting as well. It makes that force much more strong for Jjakji. So once again, he is in a pretty good position. He's up 7 workers on his opponent. He still has more well-developed tech. Kas, in fact, just sitting on... Let's take a look after these Marines quit getting poked at. Actually, oh wow.
Poke all day, man.
Yeah, it looks like Jjakji will finally take the advantage there, but...
5-year-old kid, he just keeps poking.
Well,
won't stop.
Starport is up now. Hey, quit poking me. Hey, quit poking me.
We're going to turn this Atlantis spaceship right around if you kids don't stop poking each other.
We'll go right back underwater where we came from, all right?
That's right. In space.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
Makes sense.
The spaceship of Atlantis.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally. I mean,
standard.
I'm not saying it's aliens.
but
aliens.
Aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Kas is just so far behind on tech right now. His Starport just only now finishing. He's done a good job of keeping up in supply, though. I gotta say, his stim finishing a little bit early on, and that may be a great opportunity to do some damage to the army of Jjakji here. He's still got a good amount of Marines, and I was wondering if maybe we'd see him stim a couple to try to take out that medevac, but nope, he's gonna let it get away.
He still does have to be very, very careful because that would be permanent damage right now. He only has his first medevacs coming out right now, and they're pretty far away.
Yep. Do you know what?
No, but I know his brother.
They can fly.
Ah!
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Drops coming in from Jjakji. He's known for being quite good at this type of thing, and he may be able to get in there and do some damage to the SCVs. Oh, no, good defense by Kas. Jjakji's drop just getting owned here. And, oh, the Marines on the top as well.
Yeah, very nice job. Picks them all off. Of course, he does stim up, so that's going to take out the energy from the medevacs here in a bit. In fact, the medevacs were a-clicked to go after the Marines because they will go to any unit they can and then heal them on the way. Actually started healing up SCVs, which was kind of funny.
Medevacs trying to deal out the meta violence, but they can't. They don't have any weapons.
Nope, unfortunately.
Just green rays. They can maybe make like a cool like rave thing go on, but
yes. All right, I'm done with that now.
Oh no, I've got Sandstorm running through my head now.
I gotta start dancing.
No.
What?
You can't. We have to cast this game.
But
Dance
Sandstorm. Darude.
What?
All right. Anyway, fine.
You know,
I'll accept it for now.
All right. So here's the thing about Sandstorm, right? It was like a lot of people's introduction to electronic music.
Sure.
Maybe like Ace of Base or something too, but that song just got played to death and then undeath, and then it came back and was killed again.
Yes.
And then it came back again and was killed again. It was like a super zombie, and it still comes back every once in a while. It's like an urban legend. It's like sometimes at night in high schools you can hear Darude Sandstorm playing over the loudspeakers very softly to listen.
But see, now it's nostalgic for me, so I accept its zombie-like nature. So
true.
All right. Well, Kas, his whole army is found out. Of course, a much more developed tank line for Jjakji.
Yeah.
His ground units are just about as upgraded as Kas's, to be perfectly honest. Both players hitting 1 armor at the same time as well. Oh, Jjakji wants to get a couple of units back here in a second. We'll see if Kas turns around and engages. He does want to sit outside of the range of the siege tanks. Jjakji actually standing in there a little bit longer than I had anticipated.
Wow. Yeah, Jjakji just playing this very aggressively, and check it out. He actually finished up, I believe, did he finish? Yeah, he finished up a second factory now, so he's going to be able to start double producing tanks if he wants to. I believe that's going to be his plan. He's going to be able to get that tank count very, very high against Kas.
And Kas is actually sitting on 61 Marines. I've got to say that's not as much higher than Jjakji as I would have anticipated at this stage. Jjakji does have the much more well-developed tank count at this point, but Kas, he's got mobility on his side.
Yeah, certainly does, man. Those Marines, they do some drugs. They can run pretty fast.
All right.
But the side effects are just not worth it.
That's
so
true.
Kids,
stay in school.
Stay off the stim pack.
Yes.
You see what happens to Marines that do stim pack. Look at that.
Here
well,
we go.
I mean, sometimes they kill command centers, but...
Yes. Is that what you want your future to be?
You don't want to take that much damage every time.
Oh, that's not good for Kas. He just lost
protected.
all but one of his tanks, and Jjakji's fire range is way too good. So now he can sit on 3 bases max, as he is now at a 35 supply advantage. And it looks like he's not even going to wait for it. He's not going to starve Kas out of this game. He is just going to keep pushing forward. He's going to get himself another tank kill. It's just Marines left.
Indeed. Jjakji able to push ahead with his Marines here.
Oh, wow.
Kas taking huge losses in that last engagement.
Yeah.
It's pretty far down now. I don't know if Kas can defend against this push from Jjakji here. That's going to come in a moment. That one Marine just kind of...
Saw blue over there. Was trying to be aware of the minimap.
That's good. No, that's good.
Yes.
Just watching for drops. It's a good thing for Kas to do. Oh, nice catching some of the tanks on siege, but just not going to be enough.
Wow. All right. Well, Kas still going to get these Marines destroyed. It looks like he is. Jjakji finally going to be able to push back the last couple of units. There are 2 tanks remaining. Jjakji being very aggressive, though, throwing away an extra few Marines there for not much reason. But, of course, he is able to reproduce a lot quicker sitting on a 3-base economy. You can see he's still at a 60 supply advantage.
Yeah, Jjakji, one of his tendencies in Marine Tank has always been to be kind of the aggressor. We've seen that from him time and time again, where he's always the one that stims, and goes ahead maybe just a little bit too far, but somehow he manages to pull back just in time. And what it does as well is catches his opponents off guard, gets them to kind of overcommit to moving their Marines forward. This game, though, I think it's going to go in favor of Jjakji, although being caught on siege, losing a tank right there.
Good job by Kas not to siege up the one in front, but the one in back does still get a couple of extra hits. So Jjakji pushing a little bit farther forward than he would like. Looks like he has the sheer quantity of units, though, just to push this down. Kas going to lose everything else. Jjakji overrunning this position. Those medevacs are not long for this world, and I think Kas is probably going to fall here in just a bit.
Yeah, the supply count is getting just way too low. He can't produce tanks fast enough. Another stim out of Jjakji is going to catch another one of the medevacs. Oh, it just barely gets away. There is a tank on that ramp, though.
Yeah, but Jjakji looks like he just doesn't even care. He'll take the losses. It doesn't matter to him. A couple of mules dropping down. Those are not. Oh, those were Kas's.
Oh, okay. Yep. GG.
GG.
So,